What's going on, traders? We're going to try to make this one quick, but before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So, in our last video, we pretty much established that Mondays mirror Fridays. If you're new to the channel, that simply means that historically, when Fridays are bullish, Mondays are bullish. When Fridays are bearish, Mondays are bearish. And although we didn't get the exact same setup as Friday, we did see new highs today as far as the NQ and the ES is concerned. Now, I also said in the last video that usually, when the market has a rally, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, the following day is usually a cool off period, despite the weekend being in the way. And what I mean by that is Friday, we saw a huge move to the upside across the market, and it only makes sense that Monday, which is today, that we see some type of cool off, whether it's a dip or some consolidation. And today we got a little bit of both. Now, before we get further into the video, it's important to note that tomorrow we do have Fed Chairman Powell testifying. We also have a Fed member speaking, but I honestly think that's irrelevant in comparison to Chairman Powell testifying. Now, I don't think Chairman Powell is going to say anything crazy. I think he's just going to pretty much double down on how important CPI and PPI is, and I think we're going to continue to head higher in the market. My price targets still remain the same as far as the ES and the NQ. It's also important to note, let's actually go back to that. Thursday. Thursday, we have core CPI at 8:30 Eastern and unemployment claims. And what do we talk about on this channel? The market historically runs into CPI, PPI, all that fun stuff. It historically runs higher into these dates. Usually we see bullish movement heading into these dates. And since it is Thursday, I imagine tomorrow and Wednesday we're going to continue to see more upside across the market. So really pay attention to that. Historically, we haven't missed so far as this data goes. So really pay attention to this. If you're new to the channel, we could see more upside heading into this date. And as far as the actual date or the actual CPI, we'll just have to see what happens when we get closer to that date. For now, bullish heading into tomorrow, bullish heading into Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll play it by ear, sight, whatever the case may be. Now, as far as the ES go, my sentiment still remains the same. I still think we're going to continue to see more upside. My price target right now is 5,700. I think we're going to see 5,700, which is at the top of this trend right here, or the top of this channel, which is around 5,750 actually, but we're going to lowball it. We're going to be humble about it and say 5,700. If we get to 5,700, I would be very cautious, especially if we get there before CPI data this week. So be very cautious once we get here. We either consolidate and just consolidate higher over and over, or we just break down. Okay. Now, there is a possibility that we tease a little bit higher, maybe set up some type of bull trap. That is possible, that is on the table, but that's all speculation right now. We'll talk about that if that ever occurs. Right now, we have to go off history, and history shows us that anytime we hit the top of this trend, let's actually extend this a little bit. Anytime we hit the top of this trend, we reject. There's times where we do consolidate, such as here, for example, but eventually we do reject and we do break down, and we break down pretty hard. Now, I'm not sure if CPI will be the cause of this or anything else, but it is important to know and keep in mind just how important this channel is. And we are really getting close to the top of this channel. As you guys can see, haven't made this up. We rejected back here, rejected all in this area. And right now, the channel is acting like a magnet, and we are currently heading back to the top of this channel. So something to keep in mind as far as the ES. As far as your key level, right now, we have a supply and demand zone here at around 50, what is this, 5580. So around 5580, I will pay attention to that level. You can say 5,600 is your psych level right now, but if we do see some type of sell off or some type of dip as far as the downside goes, we could just bounce here and head higher. Okay, so that is something to pay attention to. Do I think that's going to happen tomorrow? It is very much possible, but I still am overall bullish as far as short term within the market. Even long term, I think if anything, if we do start seeing dips happen this week, that we're just going to continue to run to the upside regardless heading into big tech earnings. I've said this in multiple videos that I am bullish heading into big tech earnings, and we do have some bank earnings this week as well, so that is something to keep in mind as well. But as long as we stay above the supply and demand zone, keep in mind this is a daily supply and demand zone, we are pretty much bullish. If we start breaking below the supply and demand zone, then chances are we're going to start heading towards this gap on the daily time frame, but we'll talk about that if we ever get close to that point. NQ. NQ, my target still remains the same. We're looking at 20,800. That's still my target. We are pretty close to that target. Today we formed another. Well, not today really. It was pretty much over 2 days. We pretty much formed another supply and demand zone here on the 4 hour time frame, and right now we broke out of that 4 hour time frame, or not 4 hour time frame. We broke out of that 4 hour supply and demand zone. So NQ is looking very, very bullish. It did play games at market open. We had a hard time breaking out of here. We pretty much rejected, and then we finally started to break higher. I think at some point tomorrow we're going to see the big tech stocks, Mega 7, all that fun stuff start to catch on to this, and they're going to start heading higher at this point. Today, me personally, I said this in the Discord. Today was about shaking those baby hands out the way, get them out the market. You got baby hands, the market pretty much got rid of you, and then we're going to continue to head higher. If anything, if you are bearish, you pretty much got trapped, in my opinion. I could be wrong. You might get lucky. You may see a small dip in the morning. It is possible, but I don't think it's going to be sustainable. I don't think it's going to last. If anything, I will watch out for that 20,640, 650 level before we start to head higher. There are bullish wicks here, so I imagine that if anything, we would need bad news to further break down as far as the NQ and really, really break below the supply and demand zone. See, so if you are in a bearish position, depending on what it is, you might have gotten trapped. Again, I think today was all about getting rid of those baby hands. And yeah, that's it. All right. So if you got baby hands, RIP to you. All right. Let's look at the triple Qs. So triple Qs pretty much bullish on. I mean, we're really, really close to 500, guys. So yeah, that's going to be a really tough psych level. Okay, I will say that much. It's going to be a very, very tough level to break. I I don't know. I don't know if we're going to break it like right away, but if we do, the market is going to go absolutely insane. At least the tech side of the market. Right now, we broke above the supply and demand zone, which is very good. We have bullish wicks within the supply and demand zone as well. That's very good. So, if anything, I will look at a price target of 500, 501, between 501 and 505 before we see some type of turbulence. Okay. If anything, if you plan to trade tomorrow, I again will be cautious. I will start lowering my risk tolerance. I will start really lowering my contracts. I'm already doing that as far as my Discord goes. I just think it's really, really scary to play at these levels. Okay, really scary. I mean, 500 is a huge psych level. Okay, so I will be really surprised we break that like right away tomorrow. If it happens, it happens. That's great. But right now, I'm gonna play very cautious as far as that 500 psych level on the triple Qs. Spy. Spy, my target still remains the same, 560. We have a lot more room on the SPY as far as the upside than the triple Qs. I will say that much. So if anything, the SPY may help carry the triple Qs even higher than 500. That is possible. Let's actually zoom out and go to our daily time frame on the SPY. And as you guys can see, we pretty much, again, been trading in this channel. I mentioned this in a couple of videos. Rejected here, rejection here. Pretty much the same thing we saw on the triple Qs. Well, not the triple Qs, but the ES, right? Where we're pretty much in this channel. We've been trading in this channel for a very long time. Daily time frame, rejection, rejection, and we're heading back to the top of this channel at around 560. If we get to the top of this channel, I will really, really play cautious, okay? There are one or two scenarios. Either we we could possibly break higher. I'm not counting on that, but that is possible. I mean, it's a very strong market, okay? But if we're going off history and what we've seen historically, we've pretty much been rejecting this the top of this channel over and over and over very, very consistently. All right. And keep in mind, these are daily candles. So these are big moves to the downside. Despite how little or small this rejection looks, these are daily candles. So don't take it lightly. And then eventually we finally started to break down. What causes that? Not too sure. Maybe the Fed just announces rate cuts and then the market just prices it in. Who knows? But really tough to say. So again, we hit this 560 area. Let's actually mark it out. We get up here. We either could possibly break higher, not really counting on it. Maybe we break a little higher, maybe 561, 562. We could either just consolidate. Okay, we can do one of these moves where we just consolidate higher over and over. The market just continues to play games. We consolidate higher, or we just break down. All right. Right now, your very, very key level here is the supply and demand zone right down here at 549. 549, 548 supply and demand zone. You start breaking below this, you got to start running for the hills if you're bullish. Okay, simple as that. For now, I got to be bullish. I just that's all I got. Okay, I got to be bullish. Okay. Um, as far as stocks go, let's actually look at Bitcoin first. So Bitcoin has this double bottom scenario right now, or the potential double bottom. You guys know that double bottoms aren't confirmed until you break a neckline. And right now, our neckline is around 58K. I would honestly say 60K to be really safe. So if you don't see it right, that's wrong. Right about here, you got your double bottom area here. So you got one bottom here, potential bottom, and then you have another bottom here. So we want to see that 60K break before we break higher on Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin does it looks okay. Okay, it looks okay. It hit my price target of 52K, or it got really close to it. But right now, as you guys can see, we're pretty much in this channel right now. So if we do start to break higher, there's a lot of space higher. Okay, a lot of space higher, guys. So really pay attention to that as far as Bitcoin. Looking at some stocks, Apple. Apple it still looks good. Okay, Apple looks absolutely great. Let's actually go to a smaller time frame. Apple looks great, guys. I have nothing bad to say about Apple. Right now, we are in 235 calls in the Discord for August 8th or August 9th, I believe. It looks good. Okay. I think Apple is going to head to 240. Highest I'm looking at is the analyst target of 250. Simple as that. Really have nothing else for Apple. If Apple breaks below 220, then I would be concerned. But for now, extremely bullish on Apple. Right now, it needs to get above 228 and actually hold. I would say 30 psych level to be really comfortable to really hold, and then we can go higher from there. Again, Apple looks great. Amazon. Amazon still looks good. It just shook out those baby hands once again. I mean, the bulls are still strong in Amazon right here. This is where everybody started to panic. We started to hit 198. I said in the Discord that if it breaks and holds below 198, then we could go lower. But bull stepped in, shook out those baby hands, and we are most likely heading higher. Yes, we are below supply and demand zone, but right now we are in somewhat of a trend. I would say this is ascending triangle. It's not the cleanest of ascending triangles, but right now, as you guys can see, we pretty much bounced here, bounced here. We broke here. This was pretty much a bear trap, obviously. Bull stepped in very strong here. We bounced here, bounced here. We bounced all in this area, and we bounced once again. So at this point, I think Amazon has no choice but to go higher. That's my opinion. Do what you want with that information. But bulls have shown over and over that they do not want Amazon to go lower. I mean, look at the chart yourself. These bullish wicks are all over the place down here. They're not letting up, guys. So you shouldn't let up either. Do what you want with that information once again. Price target for Amazon still remains the same 205 short term, 208, 210 long term. If you're wondering where I got that price target from, we look at the daily time frame. We zoom out, and as you guys can see, we've been trading in this channel right here. We've been trading in this channel for a pretty long time. And again, just like I said on the SPY, triple Qs, and NASDAQ, all that fun stuff, these channels or the top of these channels are acting like magnets. Okay, they're acting like magnets. And right now, I think Amazon wants to reach the top of this channel before we see some type of turbulence. Next stock, Meta. Meta did some weird crap after hours. I believe it's on the 5 minute time frame. I don't know. I don't look at the 5 minute time frame anyway. But regardless, Meta spiked to like 542 after hours. Now, whether that's a real thing or not, or some glitch, I don't know. But it is a little concerning, but still, Meta looks great. Meta still looks fine. It retested that 528 area. As you guys can see, we hit double support. We hit this trend right here. We rejected here, rejected here, rejected here. We retested the trend right here. So no need to panic, no need to freak out. Okay. We still are at this daily supply and demand zone. We retested the bottom of this daily supply and demand zone. We retested the top of this trend. Easy money. I think Meta is going to continue to head higher. Price target still remains the same. I still think Meta is going to head at least to 550. Highest I'm looking at is about 570 on Meta. Look at this daily chart. I mean, look at this. Nothing but space and opportunity, guys. Look at this. It broke higher. It broke above what is this? 530. Look where we're at now. We're right there. Nothing but space and opportunity for Meta to go higher here. I have no doubts in my mind. I think Meta is going to continue to go higher. If Meta just so happens to break below 524, 523.8, then there will be room for concern there. For now, Still bullish on Meta. I think it's great. I think it looks great. Simple as that. Next stock, Nvidia. Nvidia is pretty much playing games here, but at some point, I think it's going to start catching up with the other semiconductors because the other semiconductors are going like absolutely ballistic. SMCI is going higher, AVGO is probably going higher, AMD is going higher. Broke that 165 level, so I think AMD is just going to simply head to 180, 190 tops. But again, I think Nvidia is going to want to retest this supply and demand zone at around 140. And then after that, we'll have to see what happens. Okay, it could be some turbulence or we see some downside. Simple as that. We see a move like this, maybe 135. Highest we're looking at is 140, right where these guys are, right over here. Okay, simple as that. That's really what I have for Nvidia. It looks great. That's all I have. Next stock I'm looking at is Dell. Dell looks beautiful. We're in a 165 call for Dell for August 16th. Absolutely, we got in at around 140. This thing is beautiful. All right. It looks absolutely, I mean, it doesn't look great chart wise because we're still in this channel. But if we just so happen to break out of here, I think Dell is going to absolutely go parabolic. Okay. Right now, I'm looking at 150. Dell gets above 150. We are going to the moon. Okay. Pack your bags. We're going to the moon. If Dell breaks 150, okay, 150, pack your bags. Get you some spicy Doritos. Get you some applesauce. I like applesauce. I don't know any grown adult who doesn't like applesauce. If you don't like applesauce, please get off my channel. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're never too old for applesauce, all right? Get you a Capri Sun. We're going to the moon. Dell looks great, guys. Okay, it looks great. All right, we're continuing to create higher lows. It's going to break this. Okay, I have no doubt in my mind. It's going to absolutely break this. Actually, if we do this, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I just did that in real time, right in your face. Look, I mean, Dell looks beautiful, and if the Dow Jones continues to go higher, this thing is going to go berserk. I actually might add more contracts now that I just marked that. Okay, I might just. Okay, we'll see. But right now, August contracts absolutely looks beautiful. Check out those 165 calls. We got in at around 140. This thing is going to go ballistic. Okay, simple as that. Watch for that 150 break. Okay, if you want to play it cautious, watch for the 150 break. If you want to jump the gun, that's on you. Do what you want. All right. Next stock, Tesla. Tesla, you see here, I don't make this stuff up, guys. I don't make this stuff up. You see here, we're really close. Really close. All right. I don't know what Tesla's going to do here. I don't know if the market is going to drop right along with Tesla. I don't know. But we're really close to the top here as far as Tesla, or at least this trend here. Can it go higher? Sure, absolutely. But right now we gotta be cautious at around this 260 area. I mean, it went all the way to 258 and pretty much reject. I said this in the last video. Okay, I said this in the last video. When it gets towards 260, you gotta be cautious. You gotta be cautious. I think Tesla can go higher than 260. I genuinely do. I just I don't know what would cause that. I don't, especially given the rejection we had today. I just don't know what caused that. Maybe some news. Okay, maybe some news. Let's actually zoom out. Maybe we could find something here. Yeah, there's just a lot of turbulence up here. I told you guys in the last video that there's a lot of turbulence here. Even if we get above 260, it's just going to be like it's going to be really tough going higher. Tesla would need like amazing news after that. Okay, after 260, that's what I imagine. I do think Tesla has the potential to run into earnings, but again, I don't think it's going to be as smooth as of a move that we've seen recently like this. Okay, so be careful playing Tesla. It's looking a little sketchy. Okay, I will say that much. It's looking a little sketchy. New stock that we are trading right now is Baba. We look at the weekly chart for Baba, and I stumbled upon this stock on the options change, options change, options chain. Okay, I got we got us into 80 calls for July 19th. I think Baba looks absolutely good. Now, mind you, I don't really trade Baba. But I'm simply following what the big guys are doing, and the big guys are trading 80 calls for next week, between next week and August. All right, so check out Baba. It broke above that 73.5 level, so chances are it can go higher. Again, I don't really trade this thing, but if we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, there is potential for an inverse head and shoulders forming. You got a clear, and I mean a clear as day neckline right here, guys, right here. So if Baba breaks above 76, Pack your bags. Pack your bags, pack your bags, pack your bags. We are going to the moon. Leave the kids, leave the spouse, take the dog. We left the dog before he was sad about it. The dog didn't do anything to us, okay? I don't know why we left the dog that day. We're bringing a dog this time, okay? We're going to the moon, guys. If we break 76, mark my words. I gave you guys Apple, I gave you guys Microsoft, I gave you guys Amazon. Amazon's still playing a little game, but we're still in profit on Amazon regardless. Okay, regardless, we broke that 192 level I said on Amazon, still up. Okay, so take it or leave it. Baba breaks 76, guys. Assuming that Chinese stocks follow technical analysis, because I don't really trade these things, is going to the moon. Okay, highest price target I think Baba can go is 130 long term. Short term, 100. Okay, but if you want to play it safe, you can simply just play this gap fill. I mean, there's a lot of gaps actually. I believe there's a lot of gaps on this thing, but again, yeah, there's a lot of gaps. So yeah, I think Baba can head. If you want to really play it safe, you can look between 80 and 90 to take profit if you are interested in this. But Baba looks great, guys. I really have nothing bad to say about it besides it being a Chinese stock, and I don't trade Chinese stocks. That's all I have for this video. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. Let's look at IWM real quick. IWM looks good. At some point, IWM has to do something. And I imagine it's only going to really do something when CPI data comes in. That's when I think it's going to kick in. There is a pattern here. This is like a triple star pattern. This is a bullish pattern, by the way. Very bullish pattern. But I don't see it that often. So I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. But feel free to Google it, look it up, see if it makes sense to you. Otherwise, IWM Russell, it looks like small caps wants to take off. I mean, you're seeing AMC, you're seeing GameStop kind of like treading higher and higher. At some point, IWM is going to want to take off, and I think that's going to happen when CPI comes in. The price target right now is 210. Highest I think this thing can go if this inverse head and shoulders plays out. Shoulder here, head here. You got your shoulder forming here, and then you have a bull flag forming here. This thing breaks out, it's going to go absolutely insane. 212. 212, it breaks 212. Pack your bags. That's all I have for this video, guys. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Website will be released next week. Really look forward to showing you guys what we've been working on. Until the next video, traders, have a good one.